Hello once again, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Aotearoa Whiskey Club's Whiskey 101 series, and we are now on number 22. And we've got a pretty interesting little topic today. We are going to be discussing one of my most hated things in Scotland. I don't want to say it's vile, but it's really close, and it's the coloring of whiskeys, in which they use, it's a little liquid called E150A, and it's the coloring agent that they use in whiskeys in Scotland. It's the only thing they can put legally into Scotch. And for me personally, it's just annoying. I just feel like it's kind of dumbing down the industry a bit. It should be one of those cases of it is what it is. Now, not everyone does this, and I'm going to explain why they do it after I bang on it a little bit. But like I say, for me personally, and this is my opinion only, I don't like it. I don't think it has a place in Scottish whiskies. But again, that's just me. I think it should be El Natural as it's advertised. Anyway, the E150A that we are discussing. So what they'll do is they've married the whiskeys together and they'll drop this agent in there, and it's a coloring agent. It looks, it's quite dark, quite rich, caramel in color, almost a bit of a reddish hue to it, quite thick. Now, they will tell you that it does not add flavor, it doesn't change anything about the spirit other than adding a bit of color to it. And, you know, I don't know it's psychological, but I've tried whiskeys that I know that there's coloring in there and I feel like I can taste it, but I'm sure I probably cannot, because you got people like Alex Bruce, Charlie McLean, these whiskey experts that are way above me that just insist that you cannot actually taste it, so I have to kind of trust in them. But like I say, for me personally, I don't like it because, example, Dalmore. Now, Dalmore is a phenomenally good whiskey on its own. It doesn't need coloring, but when you go to a whiskey store or wherever and you see these bunches of Dalmores up there, from the 12-year-old to the 18-year-old to the different named, the King Alexanders and so on, they all look identical. The exact, I mean, a 12 and an 18, they're identical in color, and they'll be identical to 25 to 5-year-old. It doesn't matter. If they're bottling it, it's going to be identical in color. As opposed to natural color, natural bottling, you got, let's see what we got here, a little Crack-a-Lecky 12-year-old. Now granted, that's a big time sherry cask, but still, that's natural color. The Craig-a-Lecky, that's Glenallachie, apologies, Glenallachie, Billy Walker's new distillery. Craig-a-Lecky 13, see, all natural color, from American oak cask clearly, from sherry cask clearly. These will indicate probably from sherry cask, and I know most of them are from sherry cask at Dalmore. So I would say, why not just use all natural color? Just let it be like it is when it's extracted from the barrel and put in those bottles. And so I was sitting with Richard Patterson one day at the Dalmore Distillery, and I had to ask him, I'm like, look, Richard, you know, explain to me why you do this. Because Richard, he is about as pure of a Scottish man as there is. He knows his stuff. He's an absolute 100% legend in the industry. He's in the Whiskey Hall of Fame. He, in fact, was the guy that replicated the Shackleton whiskey down here in New Zealand. That was Richard. And he's arguably one of the best, if not the best blender on this planet. So you basically have to trust in what Richard says. So I asked him about this a couple of years ago, and he looked me square in the eye and he said, look, Sam, I'm not selling my booze to you. You are less than 1% of the market, as in me, a guy that really loves his whiskeys. I've been doing this as a business for many, many years, since about mid-90s. And so I'm a whiskey geek, whiskey nerd, however you want to say it. And there's only like less than 1% of us really out there. And we're not his market. He could really care. I mean, we're going to buy it anyway. He knows that. He is selling to the general public, to the people in the duty-frees, to the people in the Asian countries, to the Americans. He's selling to the general public all over the world. The people all over the world, that's the color they want to see. They don't want to necessarily see something that's super, super light in color like this. No, they don't. Even though it's natural, they want to see that darker, richer color. And as soon as he said that, it resonated. I'm like, yep, I get it, totally get it. And it's just one of those situations where just because I disagree with it, you know, it's not that I'm wrong or that I'm right. It's just a simple fact that it is a business, and a huge business, a multi-billion, trillion-dollar business. And like Richard says, he's not selling to me. He's not selling to us whiskey geeks out here. So sorry, but that's a fact. He's selling to the masses, and I totally, totally get that. Just me being the whiskey nerd that I am, I'd like to keep it pure and real, but I understand what's behind it. Anyway, that's my take on it. Hope you enjoyed that bit, and until the next time, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you then. Ciao.